Hello, good afternoon. I'm Shiany Pérez-Cheng. I'm an analyst from Spain. I research on China's propaganda, disinformation, and influence operations in Spain specifically. And now today I would like to introduce you to what's Spain's position on Taiwan and how disinformation about Taiwan is being circling in Spain. Since we were talking about in the previous session about the EU and how China takes advantage of EU's internal divisions and the EU member states' diverse approach to China. I would like to start by explaining what Spain's position is on Taiwan. And just as a reminder, this semester, from June to the end of the year, Spain holds the presidency of the European Union. So, as for the Spain's position on Taiwan, this is the joint communique that Spain and China signed back in 1973 to establish formal diplomatic relations. And here this part is the part of the recognition that it says the government of Spain recognized the government of the People's Republic of China as the sole legitimate government of China, and the government of Spain recognizes China's government position that Taiwan is a province of the People's Republic of China. This means that Spain does not have its own one China policy. It assimilated the one China Beijing's one China principle. I'm just going to remind you that Beijing's one China principle means that Taiwan belongs to them, and Taiwan is a province. Whereas each country has its own one China policy. For example, the United States recognizes the government of the PRC and acknowledges China's position on Taiwan, but do not recognize it. This is the same for the UK and other countries like Australia or New Zealand. And it's also the EU's position on China. The EU's position on well, I will explain it later because I remember that I'm going ahead of myself. So this is a very important distinction that Spain recognizes China's position on Taiwan. So recognizes Taiwan is part of China. And now I'm going to go through several examples because this is a position of the Spanish government have repercussions not only in domestic issues or Spain foreign policy, but also has repercussions for Taiwan nationals, and even within the European Union. So I don't know if you are familiar of the fact that Spain has been the only West democracy that have extradited around 300 Taiwanese nationals to China instead of sending them to Taiwan. So I'm going to refer to the Spanish court, Spanish National Court, which rules on the appearance of those Taiwanese nationals that they were alleging that it's not legal for them for Spain to send them to China because humanitarian international human rights situation, and also because they are Taiwanese and not Chinese. And this is the Spanish National Court ruling. The great majority of international law subjects, that means the great majority of countries, has adopted a position that tends to accept the one China principle, which is Taiwan is part of the People's Republic of China. But Taiwan, the government of Taiwan, governs, legislate, and decides its matters in the name of the government of the People's Republic of China. This means that for this ruling, this means that the court says that the government in Taipei is not government on its own right, but it governs Taiwan province in the name of the government of the People's Republic of China, which is, if we think about it, it's completely absurd. For example, it would mean that when Taiwan government decide to increase the defense budget, or decides to increase in 1 year long the military conscription, is decided making these decisions in the names of the government of the People's Republic of China. That's said in the name of the government who is threatening Taiwan. And that's why Taiwan has to take these measures, which is the reasoning, as you can see, is quite ridiculous, and it's a completely international political fiction. It's just a way to justify Spain's decisions to extradite. And also said. The ruling also states that Taiwan is not part of any international organizations, not even from the United Nations, since 1978. This is completely fake information, because it's not 1978. It was UN General Assembly resolution in 1971, who decided to expel the representative of Chiang Kai-shek from the United Nations. So even the Spain National Court cannot take the time to check up the dates of the international regulations and international resolutions. So that go for the way this ruling was taken. And it also says that international community understands Taiwan is part of China, and considers that Taiwan independence cannot be reached in a unilateral way. It can only be reached following the law and the process dictated by its country. Its country means the Republic of China. So if Taiwan, this means that if Taiwan wanted to declare independence, it will have to follow the proceedings of the People's Republic of China to declare formal independence. This is taken. This language is taken from how Catalonia, the narrative of Catalonia and situation in Spain, because there was also rulings from the Spain courts regarding Catalonia. The Catalonian on 2017 they hold an illegal referendum, which was against Spanish referendum regulations to vote on independence. So that's exactly the same the same language the Spanish courts use on the unilateral declaration of independence on Catalonia. So they are just copying and pasting its own domestic narrative to address Taiwan. This is from a legal point of view about how the disinformation from Spanish judicial power. Now we're going to see, this obviously affects Taiwanese nationals because of these rulings. Taiwanese nationals were sent to China, not to Taiwan. Another example is U.S. ambassador to China, which happens to be Spanish, José Toledo Arbiñana, made some remarks on summer 2022. He was then appointed EU's ambassador, but he haven't taken his role yet. So this was before he was appointed ambassador, but not acting ambassador. So in an event held in a think tank in Barcelona, he stated that, he stated that Spain, the EU, and the United States believe, defend, and proclaim that the eventual factual unification, since both China and Taiwan are one country, must be carried out by peaceful means. This is completely false. This is Spain's position. This is Spain's position, but it's certainly not the EU's, and it's of course not the United States. So he was passing Spain's government position as if it were the EU's position and even the United States. This was quite a grave issue because he was the next EU's ambassador to China. So these remarks could be misconstrued as he speaking for the whole European Union. Of course, there were reactions against these remarks. For example, Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the spokesperson response. She clearly said that the sovereignty of our country cannot be disparaged by a letter of annexed. The sovereignty of Taiwan belongs only to the people of Taiwan, and only the people of Taiwan can decide on Taiwan's future. There was also a reaction from EU Parliament Vice President Nicola Beer that at that time she was here in Taiwan. She was on a week-long visit, and she stated that, what José Toledo Albiñana, the appointed ambassador, said is not only not the European Union Parliament, but also not the European Union position. And then from the EU Foreign Affairs spokesperson, the Foreign Affairs Office, the spokesperson, he said that we have a clear one China policy that has not changed recently. The EU and member states remain committed to EU's China policy. EU's China policy is that the European Union recognized the government of in Beijing as the sole legitimate government of the People's Republic of China. And within this policy, the EU are also pursuing friendly relations and close cooperation with Taiwan in a wide range of areas. So the EU does not discuss if Taiwan is part of China or who holds sovereignty over Taiwan. Then along this, you see that with this kind of statements and remarks can create a division within the European member states, and also European position can be misconstrued. But more recently, European Union High Representative for Foreign Affairs, which happens to be Spanish, Josep Borrell, 2 months ago, on his personal blog, he wrote, Taiwan is another major security issue in EU-China relations. We know how important this issue is for China. Our one China policy remains unchanged. We believe that the status quo should remain. This means China should not erode it, whether by coercion or force. It also means that Taiwan should not embark on any unilateral declaration of independence. Again, we see the same narrative for Catalonia, unilateral declaration of independence being applied by EU officer, which happens to be Spanish, and presenting his view as if it were the EU's. Again, the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs had to respond to these remarks, saying that regarding High Representative Borrell's recent expression on his personal views on the One China policy, MOFA solemnly reiterates that Taiwan has long been an independent state and does not need to declare independence. This is an indisputable fact. Moreover, Taiwan is a free democratic nation. Its future can only be determined by the Taiwanese people. This principle of governance is widely recognized and respected by the European Union and all democratic countries. This is the last sentence. I find it specifically relevant because combining that, the Representative Borrell's expression of his personal views in contrast with the principal government, is widely recognized and respected by the European Union. Taiwan is underlining and stressing that this is our personal position as a Catalonian politician, as a Spanish politician. Please do not make it be and try to make it be the EU's position, because it's not. And we all already seen how these misconstructions and this disinformation about one China policy, one China principle, and Spain's position on Taiwan is being with these examples it has affected not only Taiwanese nationals, but also provoked misconstruction on EU's position. Now, from a more domestic within Spain point of view, there has been some declarations from the Spanish government, and this is some that I find kind of inconsistent from my point of view. There's a question the political opposition parties made to the Spain government. See, the date is August 2022. And it was regarding after Nancy Pelosi came to Taiwan and China initiated aggressive military maneuvers on the Taiwan Strait. So the question to the government is, what's the Spain's government's position in relation with the tension we are seeing in the Taiwan Strait, and also the position on the dispute of sovereignty between the People's Republic of China and Taiwan, and also how the Spain government valorates those military maneuvers. So the answer is that regarding Spain, regarding the military maneuvers, the government said that we are concerned about the increase of the tension in the regions and the Taiwan Strait, and we consider it's essential to maintain peace and stability in the region. But they said that in the framework of the One China policy, Spain's, the same way as the European Union, is committed with the maintenance of the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. So again, the Spanish government mentions the European Union and mentions the One China policy, and they say that Spain has the will to maintain the one China policy according to the European Union. But this is not true, because we remember the 1973 joint declaration. Spain specifically, expressly recognized China's position that Taiwan is part of China. So again, Spain recognizes Beijing's One China policy. Spain does not follow One China policy, the EU's One China policy. And he said that Spain is committed to the maintenance of the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. So if we think about what the status quo means right now, is maintaining the same situation we now have. Maintaining the same situation, the current situation, means that in practice, Taiwan operates and works as an independent country. So how can Spain support maintaining the status quo, which means maintaining that Taiwan operates as an independent country, and at the same time recognizing that Taiwan is part of China? So I think this for me is quite inconsistent. That on one hand you said we support that maintaining the status quo, which means that Taiwan continues to operate as an independent country, and at the same time we recognize that Taiwan is part of China. This was last year. This year, as Spain is holding the EU's presidency on the second semester, I have seen some changes, which is I'm still questioning that is if the Spain government is backtracking. Backtracking would mean that Spain would have to disavow what it signed on the 1973 Joint Declaration, or it's just some kind of whitewashing strategy, because Spain right now realizes that Taiwan is important. Everyone needs Taiwan microchips. Spain needs also Taiwan microchips. And it's not from an international point of view right now, it's not politically correct, being very strict and very hard on Taiwan. So that's why I think Spain is trying to backtrack or whitewash its position on Taiwan. Another question, this is for March 2023, this year. And there's another question from a political opposition party. Which are the possible changes in the Kingdom of Spain position regarding the People's Republic of China and Taiwan? If Spain is considering changing the One China principle, or recognizing the One China principle. And here the answer is Spain has not changed its position on the status of Taiwan. As the EU, Spain follows the One China policy and is committed with the maintaining the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. This is completely false. Spain has not changed its position of Taiwan, and we recognize the same EU's One China policy. This is false. If you sign that you recognize Taiwan as part of China, so you recognize One China principle, means that you are changing your position if you right now say that you follow the EU's One China policy. And again, say that we are committed with the maintenance of the status quo, which bears the same argument that how can you advocate for maintaining the status quo, meaning that Taiwan operates as an independent state, at the same time recognizing that Taiwan is part of China. And more recently, this is again, this is the Spanish government-backed think tank. Actually, the honored president is the Spain's king, and said Spanish informal China's policy a coherent and European approach. Again, Spain tries to paint itself that we are following the same policy as the Europe, and say Spain's position regarding Taiwan is similar of that of the European partners and the EU itself. It endorses the One China policy and aims to preserve regional stability. Again, said that the Spanish endorse the One China policy, which, as we've seen, is not true. That Spain recognized the One China principle, recognized that Taiwan is part of China. And this will end my presentation. Thank you. And now I'm open to any questions or suggestions on this matter.
Thank you for the analysis. It's not clear for me why you don't believe in the evolution of Spain regarding Taiwan. You tend everywhere to say that they are not coherent, what is true, but can this be seen as an evolution to align to EC position, or is just political communication and propaganda will?
I don't see any evolution. I just see like kind of wanted to put a layer of makeup of Spanish, because this position has been, a Spanish position with Taiwan has been consistent for the past 40 years. And because Spain diplomats and politicians directly link this Taiwan issue with the Catalonia issue. And China's propaganda has been also very consistent. They also link the Catalonia issue with Taiwan issue. And we just seen that last year, José Toledo Albiñana, the EU Spanish diplomat, he said that Spain, the EU, and the US believe that the eventual unification, and that's the Spanish position. Spain position believes that the ultimate solution is an eventual unification. And that's not the position of the EU's, and that's not the position of the US. So Spain cannot play it both ways if they want to be coherent. Either you say that you want to maintain the status quo, or either to say that the ultimate the peaceful solution has to be unification. And I think this time is up for this panel. You can reach me by email if you like, or have any other comments, or I will probably be around the floor between today and tomorrow. So feel free to approach me with any questions or comments. Thank you.